everyone. Welcome to Koopa Kast number 69, Pre3 2015. I'm your host, Matt Paxton, the multimedia manager of PNM and PureNintendo.com, your independent source for all things Nintendo. I am joined by two other people here. I am joined by James Higginbotham, the editor-in-chief of PNM, PureNintendo.com.
Hello, everybody.
He also is one member of our away team who will be visiting E3 next week. And we also have Trevor Gould, a writer for PNM and PureNintendo.com.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
And he is a part of our home team for this coming E3. And
We're getting ready to fight.
Oh yeah, we're actually gonna go play a baseball game.
Like a home court advantage.
Exactly. And what we are going to do today is we're going to talk about what games we could possibly see the Nintendo bringing up for this 2015. We're going to focus a little bit more on the show floor, but we're also going to talk about what they're going to do digitally. Just like last year, Nintendo announced that they're going to have a E3 Direct that's going to be going on alongside of the actual E3 event. We're also going to have this Nintendo Treehouse. So basically, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. That's kind of Nintendo's mentality for this one. But they're also going to have the Nintendo World Championships for 2015. Not really much to say about that because none of us are going to participate, are we, James?
I don't want to embarrass myself.
So I'm just going to go ahead and start, what games are you really just looking forward to? I'm talking about the games that we know are going to be out there, like the Star Foxes, Xenoblade X. We know those are going to be out there. We're definitely going to see Yoshi Woolly World. We're probably going to see Return to Popolo Cross. I know everyone's really excited about that. But yeah, you guys you saw the list. You James and Trevor, you've seen the list before we started up. Of that list, is there what's the thing you're looking forward to the most?
Well, for me, I think it's probably going to be Star Fox. Granted, I'm excited for the games we know nothing about yet, the surprises, but Star Fox was teased at last year's E3, and we haven't heard very much of anything about it since. So I've had a year of anticipation. So I'm hoping they deliver a knockout for it.
All right. Do you think we're going to see it on the show floor, or do you think we're going to see it just digitally?
I think it was on the show floor.
I would hope it'd be on the floor. I mean, I love the digital stuff, but the floor is kind of where the hub is, the excitement.
That's true, but Nintendo also has that history of, if we don't think it's 100% ready to be seen, we're not going to show it.
Well, it's supposed to come out this fall, so it should hopefully be ready to be seen.
Yeah.
Is it really supposed to come out this fall?
It was supposed to come out before Zelda, originally.
I didn't know that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really strange then, because even Zelda, we've seen just even a little bit of Zelda by now already, but we haven't seen anything in Star Fox except for that blurry screen they showed at E3, E3's Nintendo Direct in 2014.
Well, I mean, before we start worrying, just remember, was it Captain Toad? That was a surprise last year, and that came out in the fall. So, granted, that's a smaller game, but
yeah, I was gonna say I'd argue against the star power of Star Fox versus Captain Toad.
Well, I say even though we haven't seen much, it doesn't mean that it's not necessarily close to being finished.
That's very true. James, what do you think? Do you think?
I'd go with Trevor with Star Fox, but probably for a little bit different reasons. I'm actually worried of what Star Fox is. I don't think it's what we think it is, and it may be a disappointment. And I want to be wrong, so...
Are you thinking about that, the Project Guard, Project Giant Robot? Because I think it was either you or Justin Sharp who speculated that those two, the Project Guard, the Project Giant Robot, were really just aspects that we'll see in Star Fox U.
I think I think it's gonna be more related to more of a Pilot Wings type of thing. Like it's more family friendly than we want it to be. It's not like an adventure like it was back on 64.
Wow.
Well, I think Star Fox 64 was pretty tame. I mean, minus the whole giant brain thing. So I don't really see them going in like a more family-friendly direction. Are you thinking of something like?
I'm doing like Pilot Wings where you just fly around because it was Miyamoto said that it was different in a sense because they want to focus on just what you can do as flying around. And some people took it that he was episodic, but they came out and said it wasn't. They wanted something you can. That's what it was. He wanted something you can play in pieces, or just pick up and just play for a little bit. And they got me worried that it wasn't as like a full like adventure game as we hope it will be.
It could be like.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm a big Pilot Wings fan. But I mean, it's a pretty distinct style of game. I'm wondering if, and I know there's mixed feelings on it, but Rare's last title for Nintendo for the GameCube, Star Fox Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are we going to see more of a hybrid between like a Star Fox 64, Star Fox Adventure?
Wasn't there a Star Fox that was like that? That came out after Adventure?
Yeah, Star Fox Assault, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think that got mixed reception too.
I barely even remember that game. I mean, I had to ask you what it was, so.
Yeah, well, that probably tells you something right there. I think in some respects, with Star Fox, it kind of reminds me of like with the Yoshi games. Like Star Fox 64, just like Yoshi's Island, was such an iconic game that, you know, in people's minds, is anything ever going to top that? You know, and how much of that is nostalgia for childhood memories versus, you know, what's reality? I mean, we've come a long way since the 64, but, you know, in our minds, we remember that experience in a certain way.
That's
I don't know.
You know, when Miyamoto says that this new Star Fox is going to be a little bit different, I kind of hope he's talking about, like, it's going to be along the lines of, say, Star Fox 2, that scrapped game. You know, another group kind of came out with, like, a trivia thing. I don't know if we want to name drop them or not. I don't know what the terms of policy is on that. But they kind of talked a lot about the Star Fox 2 that was supposed to come out on the Super Nintendo, and they had a lot of concepts that, you know, I would have really loved to have seen put into Star Fox 64 that didn't quite make it. Like, you have to choose which planet you're going to versus where Andros is going to. I really enjoyed that. So you're kind of picking and choosing your own missions a little bit more freely than, say, like Star Fox 64. So, you know, maybe we'll see something like that. Maybe it'll be a little bit more strategy.
I figure there's probably going to be a pretty good online component planned, because I think it was the 3DS remake, you know, had a decent multiplayer mode to it. I would think they would probably expand upon that. What'd you say, James?
No, I said yeah, I did, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I think they would probably want to expand upon the ideas introduced in that with the Wii U.
Yeah, but of course, all we see is a blurry screen, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you anything more about that. Hopefully, James will see more and he'll be astounded.
I hope so.
What other games are you looking at, or that you're hoping to see on the show floor?
That I know is going to be there, or that I hope to see there on the show floor?
Let's say that you hope to see on the show floor.
Hope to see on the show floor. Whatever Retro is working on, and I hope it's a Metroid.
Yeah.
Yes.
We kind of polled our Twitter audience a little bit on what they would hope to see in this year's E3, and overwhelmingly, Metroid was in the comments every time. You know, they want to see a Wii U Metroid, or some said even like a 3DS Metroid.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
I mean, I say this every year. Please give us a new Metroid. Come on.
So would you guys take any Metroid, or like we're probably hoping for a 3D Metroid? What if they said
If
we're going 2D or even 2.5D? How would you feel about that?
any Metroid that's not made by Team Ninja. That's all. That's all the requirements. Is it Metroid? Yes. Is it not made by
Oh,
Team Ninja? Yes. Check those two boxes off. I only have two check boxes. That's all. You can do. And then I'll be excited for a new Metroid.
poor Team Ninja.
I mean, they came back with Hyrule Warriors, so you know, even though that was
What if it was another M-type game, but without the characterizations and the plot that game kind of had?
which one, Hyrule Warriors or
Oh no, like what if they had other M-type gameplay, but there was no Samus was presented in a certain light, and the relationship between the story elements, the characterization.
yeah, I really don't want to do that again. But I think they were on the right path with the traditional Metroid style gameplay, minus the whole you have to go into first person to shoot missiles.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I can understand that. Sure.
But yeah, please another Metroid. If it's retro, I mean, retro has proven themselves to do both, like 3Ds with like the Metroid Primes, and then of course the 2Ds with Donkey Kong Country Returns. The first Donkey Kong Country Returns, that got changed to a different studio after that, I think, right? I did not pick up on the new one.
Um, no, Tropical Freeze was still retro, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, they've proven themselves with both 3D and 2D. So, that doesn't narrow it down for us at all of what, if it is, even if it's a Metroid title, could it be a 3D Metroid title or a 2D Metroid title?
Mm.
Would you be disappointed either way? Like, let me rephrase that. Would you be disappointed if it's a 3DS title compared to the Wii U title?
Yes, because I don't have a 3DS.
If you had a 3DS.
If I had a 3DS,
That's so embarrassing to hear.
well, tell you what, we'll start a Patreon right now. Buy me a 3DS.
Uh,
The goal is to buy me a 3DS. There's no stretch
Right.
goals. Just give me a 3DS.
no, throw a stretch goal so I can get a working computer, so I don't have to use this tablet.
We'll just throw all of Pure Nintendo's technology budget into this Patreon.
Yeah. James E3 expenses and
But to answer your question, if I had a 3DS, I would kind of hope that it should be a 2D side scroller then, simply because the 3D ones, well, I mean they did pretty well with just one analog stick.
I mean, like, would you be disappointed if the game was just a 3DS game
Oh, if it was just a 3DS
and
game.
they didn't announce a Wii U one? Or would you rather have a
No,
Wii U
not
one?
really. Because if it's a 3DS game, at least we know that they're putting a Metroid title out there, which is already more than what we've had for the past few years.
yeah.
So, and I think that's what a lot of people want. They just kind of want to know at this point, are you still working with Metroid? Is that something that's in your in the back, at least in the back of your mind, Nintendo? So that
I don't know. I think I would be slightly disappointed
you would.
for not an HD Metroid on the Wii U.
Yeah.
If the
I
game's
think
had, then
I think I would be.
Nah, I'll take what I can get. That's all I'm saying.
I think I would be. Although I think there's room for both, for the Wii U to get a 3D one and the 3DS to get a 2D style. You know, I'd be floored if we could get like we had with Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion. They were very very close. To one another. I would love to have an announcement like that where, play a new Metroid in the spring and on the Wii U and play one in the fall on the 3DS or something like that.
Yeah. Now, are you saying would they both be done by Retro Studio?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think probably just for the sake of being practical, they probably have to have, outside help or
I
whatnot.
know
Yeah, but
right.
no, I'd be okay. I'm not opposed to having someone else tackle it. I mean, I liked other M most, or more than many. Um, so I think I'm open to whoever's handling the property as long as they can do so, with respect for where it's coming from. Does that sound hokey? It kind of sounds hokey to me.
Nah, you're fine. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. Nobody's judging here. We're all friends.
Yeah, but I would like to see that double deuce of a 3DS and a Wii U, separate Metroid adventure, but maybe have some parallels with one another.
Right. Now, yeah, that was the next question is, are you looking for, like, story stuff in this new one now? Like, because Metroid's got a timeline,
Yeah.
supposedly. So, I don't know. If that's something that's important to you, like, do you want to, like, you're like, what happens after Prime, or what happens before Prime, or what happens after Prime, or,
Yeah.
what happens after Super Metroid that was another M?
I think if it's 3D, I want a story. If it's 2D, I don't care as much. That's kind of the same way I feel with like Zeldas. I expect story for the 3D adventures, but like 2D handheld, they don't particularly care because I just want to focus on the gameplay. That's kind of how I feel about Metroid too.
Okay. Let's see. And I'm just going to go ahead and break our list up a little bit with the lists of some of the readers that we polled on Twitter. Like I said, everybody here said Metroid. At Podge512, they've already hit two bases with Star Fox and Metroid. But the third thing they want to hopefully see is a Xenoblade Chronicles X release date announced during E3.
I would think so.
Yeah, there's got to be. I mean, that game was announced. Seems like forever ago.
Yeah,
it's out in Japan, so.
Yes, it is. And
that's a good point.
That's really tough to when I'm looking for news and stuff. That I go to places like Silicon Era, stuff that focuses on Japan a little bit more. And there's the Xenoblade Chronicles X story. I can't look at that. Scroll past that quickly because I don't want any spoilers in that game outside of what I already know for that cover story that I wrote.
Yeah, I was gonna say you already know too much.
But like I just have that fear that I'm gonna click the wrong link and all of a sudden final plot spoilers. And I don't think my heart can take that.
And I think if I went outside the Nintendo realm of games I'm excited about, it would be probably any of the Lego games, Lego Dimensions, Lego Marvel Superheroes, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Lego Adventures.
Avengers, yeah. And Guitar Hero. I think that's a game I'm curious to check out. And
I just forgot about Guitar Hero was coming back.
This is coming from someone who's not a big fan of music games. I am curious about Guitar Hero, especially the new guitar.
Like what are you curious about with the new Guitar Hero? Like what direction they could possibly go with it?
Just to try it out.
Okay. You weren't kind of like hoping to finally like fulfill one of your lifelong dreams to become part of a huge band or whatever? Find the way to the top?
I think this would be a good step forward.
Yeah, and I wonder if Rock Band will come to the Wii U as well, or if they'll just skip that one. Because they're also coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So both at once, which interesting timing, to say the least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been, in past anyway, a market for both.
Yeah, but then it became oversaturated, and nobody was buying any of that stuff.
Like, well, speaking of that, James mentioned Dimensions. I'm wondering now with they announced the new Skylanders. You got Lego Dimensions. I'm hoping, I didn't mention it yet, but I'm hoping Nintendo has like a Skylanders type game for the Amiibo. And of course, you got Infinity. That's 4 Toys for Life games. Is the market going to be oversaturated with them?
Most likely, yes. I'm surprised it actually hasn't happened sooner. I thought within the first year, or at least like a couple years after Skylanders first premiered, and people saw what a big deal they were, that we were going to start seeing a whole bunch of stuff. And we kind of started to with Disney Infinity. They're still continuing on. And of course, now we're seeing Lego, and then of course Nintendo with their Amiibo. And I know the only game I know that utilizes a whole bunch of Amiibo is Nintendo's Greatest Bits.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that's their kind of thing. I don't know if they'll come out with anything bigger, like a Nintendo Land kind of thing, but for the Amiibo.
Yeah, I hope they will. Not that I'm particularly an Amiibo fan, but I like the idea. I like that concept. For all the knocks that Activision gets with Skylanders, I think there's some genuine value. The toys are well made, and you can use them in, they're forwards compatible. I think if Nintendo came out with like a Nintendo Land for Amiibos, I think that's good potential for better or worse, to have a sequel. And, some people may not like that, but if that's a hit, that's bringing in more money that they can invest in, in new IPs like Splatoon.
Right. What I want to see actually is a poll of how many people have Amiibos, and of those people, how many are actually using them in games.
And how many are leaving them in boxes?
Yeah, how many are leaving them in boxes? How many are up on their stand? Because Alex isn't here; he's out vacationing. But if he were here, he could probably tell you that he has like every Amiibo, but I don't think he's used a single one of them in a game.
Yeah. Well, I know, not to put her on the spot. Well, she said it on Twitter; it's public knowledge. But Caitlin, she hasn't opened hers, and I asked her. She's like, "I'm waiting for a game, to make me want to." And I know a lot of people for them, it's solely the collectible urge. Like, I got it, it's factory sealed. That's it. Some people buy two, the real enthusiasts, so they can use it in games. But, for me personally, for your poll, I don't have a single Amiibo. Not that I have anything particularly against them. I'm waiting for that Skylanders type experience where, ooh, I got my Amiibo, I can play with them. They're going to have their unique powers. I can level them up. I can, stuff like that.
Okay, don't know what happened there.
I was listening to Trevor.
Who are we missing here?
No, Matt dropped off and came back, I think.
Yeah, and there's a second me also.
Oh, yeah. I can't even see me, but you can hear me and see me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can hear and see everybody.
Yeah, I see a frozen Matt. Oh, I lost him.
I think you guys are on to something like a Nintendo Land Amiibo game.
Yeah.
Where instead of just having all of them unlocked, you have to have that Amiibo to play that game. So you got to have like a Zelda Link Amiibo to play the Link Venture game they have there, or Metroid Amiibo. I can see them doing that. So it's a free game. It's like a pay-to-play game, basically.
Right. I could totally see them doing that.
I would think they would probably have some kind of like starter kit, so for people who are getting a brand new, you can still access,
like the first 3 levels, but you need the Link
parts of
to get to the next levels.
It's a balancing act. Like with Skylanders, I don't know now, they're bringing in vehicles, and it's like you got vehicles, you got swappable characters, you got giants, you got traps. It's like, I wonder with them now, because they're on their 4th entry.
Fifth, yeah.
Fifth. Yeah. I'm wondering if any bubble's going to burst, if it's going to be them. I think Nintendo is still the new kid on the block with that. And Amiibo, I mean, they can't make them fast enough, I think.
Yeah, they really cannot make them fast enough.
Yeah, I think them and Lego, by virtue of being new, will probably have the most attention, where I think Disney and the Skylanders have a harder task just to maintain that interest over the course of several games.
Right, because with the, and I don't know what you have and I have not mentioned my absence, but with like the Disney Infinity well, they have like a couple games. Skylanders has a few games, but they're not all backwards compatible. Nintendo has the advantage that they can use it with like any game, or in their case, like every game. Like, have we come across an announcement where there hasn't been like some kind of amiibo support at some point?
No.
Like, I'm waiting for the Devil's Third amiibo to come out now.
Well, who is it? There was rumor. Oh, why do I introduce a story and I can't remember it? Scratch that. I'm going to think of it and then I'll bring it up.
Okay. I don't know. Are you all looking forward to Devil's Third?
Sure.
Sure.
I personally am not, but I do like that it's going to fill in a void on the Wii U. So in that sense, I'll be looking forward to it. But personally, I'm not.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see some kind of gameplay on the floor of E3.
Yeah, I would have to think, because that's another game, announced last year. I think any game like Devil's Third or Star Fox or Miyamoto's smaller projects, I think we've got to really see something concrete, because if you have back-to-back E3s of very little, I think interest is going to drop. My interest will drop.
Yeah, and it's really critical for Nintendo to maintain a strong presence here this E3. It's even more important than last year, really, simply because, there's still kind of that lull in sales in the Wii U consoles, and then we also have the NX that was announced, well, quote-unquote announced. We know there's a new console called the NX in the future, but we don't know anything about it, so Nintendo really kind of has to figure out a way to tide people over and then also convince consumers that they still have faith in the Wii U.
Yeah. I think, speaking of tiding over, I think another nice thing would be if they can announce some like DLC. Like, I know with Mario Kart, it's been out for over a year, but those are some substantial DLC packages that have really kept interest in the game, and that's an evergreen title anyway. But I would love to see some some good DLC for like more Mario Kart or even some of their other games.
Well, they have that special Smash Brothers Direct on Sunday.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. Yeah, they have a new Smash Brothers announcement, and they've already announced Lucas and oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Lucas comes out of nowhere. Who else showed up with Lucas?
It was Mewtwo, but
Mewtwo. Okay, right. Yeah, because they had the Mewtwo price announcement that time too.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure they have something big to announce, because all they mentioned was Lucas, but Lucas comes out on Sunday, so why have a special presentation about something that just came out? So I'm pretty sure they have more DLC to talk about.
Better not be more me costumes.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe they announced the results of their poll that they came out with like a few months back. Or not poll, but bring in your suggestion for the next Smash Brothers character.
And that's probably what they're going to announce. I wonder that.
Let's all hope it's Ryan. Let's hope my campaign paid off.
Were you campaigning hard?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure hashtag Ryan Time was trending at least some point. All right, let's see.
I guess that's a question. Like, do you guys like Nintendo's new E3 strategy? Back in the day, they held everything close to their chest until that Tuesday morning press conference. But now they have something on Sunday. They may have something on Monday. They have Tuesday the direct or digital presentation, whatever it's called. Do you like that better?
Absolutely, because this is a good way for Nintendo to show that, or to demonstrate that they're kind of opening up to people a little bit more. They're not just this company who's going to just, stay button-lipped until, we have a game announcement, and then, here's the announcement, and then they're going to go back into the recesses, their headquarters. They're doing more constant stuff. That the Nintendo Direct campaign they've had for a couple years now has really shown that. So I really hope Nintendo keeps up with this. I kind of wish there was still like an official press conference. I kind of a little bit, but not so much this year because I'm not going to E3, so I don't have to care about it.
Well, here's like I was hoping Justin be here because here's my weird feeling about that is I love the press conferences, but it makes it a heck of a lot easier to cover. Because like press conferences, we got up at like 4:30 in the morning to be there to get good seats, and it was just a long day. Now I can wake up at like 9 o'clock on Tuesday, have breakfast, watch the direct, go to the show floor. It's a heck of a lot easier to cover, not having to do anything Tuesday morning.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think the staggered approach allows you to, because sometimes it seems like in the past you get like overwhelmed. It's so much to digest at once, and it's like certain titles kind of get lost in the shuffle, or certain news falls by the wayside. I think this allows each game or each announcement its moment to shine.
And like even the roundtables on the evening is a fairly new idea for Nintendo, especially the 2 roundtables. So you got the direct, you got whatever's happening Sunday, then you got whatever Tuesday morning, then you got another roundtable showing off a game Tuesday evening, probably another roundtable Wednesday. So like they're staggered throughout the whole show. Because last year they talked about Smash Brothers 3DS, I think the first roundtable, and then it was SteamWorld on SteamWorld.
Yeah, last year they talked about a little bit about 3DS, and they announced Pac-Man.
And then it was the Wednesday night one was
Project
that new game that just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Project Steam, yeah. So.
Yeah, and I guess the roundtables would just be their version of the presser, like the pressers that everybody else has.
Yeah.
Because it's done in the same style. Somebody gets out and they talk to us. It's just a little bit more intimate. There's only like, you can only get like 60 people in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's still the same deal.
Yeah.
So.
I think like what one thing what Trevor said is like, oh, you want to that. Yeah, like Nintendo would appear at E3, do their press conference, and then just vanish, and you never heard from them again.
Mm-hmm.
It is different to have their presence around for 5 days almost straight.
Yeah. Well, everyone except for Iwata, who knows what he's doing.
I think it gives the sense too that it's not just business. They're having fun. They're enjoying the festivities of E3. It's always awkward when you see, like, for certain companies, you know, a guy who's all business but clearly doesn't have a personal love of games up there talking about it. They're transparent. I think gamers can pick up on that when people aren't genuinely excited about, like, a game. They're only excited about how much revenue it can bring in. I think Nintendo gives that vibe that, yeah, we're game makers and we have fun. And we want you to have fun, too.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And they've done a good job so far. All right. Anything else that you guys wanted to, like, any other games that you're looking forward to, hoping to see, probably won't see, you know, something like that?
I wouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't say I wouldn't be surprised. But I think there's 2 games that have potential. I think one is F-Zero, and I think the other is Animal Crossing. I know Miyamoto was kind of dismissive of F-Zero, saying he didn't know what to do with it, but you look at the 2 Mario Kart DLC packs, each one had F-Zero. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were working on a new entry, or if they were just somehow going to integrate that into Mario Kart. Even I'm not sure how that would work.
Well, they have 200cc in Mario Kart, so.
Yeah, and I think it's telling that both entries had F-Zero. You know, why would they? You know, some companies will tease, like Sega. They'll throw stuff out with no intention, but I think Nintendo. Yeah, wouldn't shock me. For F-Zero, Animal Crossing, I think is more likely. I think F-Zero is a bubble game. I think Animal Crossing is definitely going to come.
You'll probably see, you might not see Animal Crossing for the Wii U, but you'll probably see Animal Crossing Happy Home Decoration.
Yeah.
I feel
I've
like
seen that.
in that title. I don't think it's exactly right, but I think Happy and Home are in the title.
Yeah, I see it in our Asana list, but I didn't. But I think there were recently some kind of cryptic remarks from uh, who does Animal Crossing? Well, anyway. See, this is what happens when I bring up topics and I don't have them researched. But there's been murmurings recently about Animal Crossing, and I know like they teased it even on Wii U when they had that app where you could kind of go around and like collect your townsfolk. I forget what it's called. It was a free app. That it was in conjunction with the 3DS game, but I would think there has to be an entry sooner rather than later. There always has been Cube, Wii. It's Wii U's time.
That's very true.
If I had to think of games that predict into my crystal ball, one of them I think there is another Mario title, adventure title.
Well, there's Mario Maker.
Well, I mean the Mario like adventure type, like a 3D adventure, like Galaxy-ish, that scope.
Sunshine 2.
Sunshine 2, that'd be cool. And I got to give credit for this idea to Justin Sharp, but he's totally right because the 20th anniversary of Pokemon is next year. So it is about time to learn about the next Pokemon game. And normally we already know about the Pokemon game. Normally they are announced earlier in the year by some Japanese magazine. We haven't heard anything about Pokemon, so it's a little strange.
Yeah.
Well, there's
they announced a Mystery Dungeon or something?
Yeah, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon for the 3DS.
I know that's not like a real Pokemon, but
the next title, like we should know about the next title by now.
It's gonna be Pokken Fighters, and they're just gonna put that on the Wii U, and that's their whole thing.
Well, that's the thing is that could we finally get a Wii U Pokemon game? I mean, like a console Pokemon game. Who knows?
With the success they're having with Amiibo, they're going to revive Pokemon Rumble Blast and bring those toys back.
Cool.
I think that's more likely than the Pokemon Wii U.
Really?
Yeah, I think they know. I think the Pokemon Company know what they're doing with the Pokemon handhelds, and they're going to continue with that route as long as they possibly can.
Well, how about a Pokemon game that goes cross-platform, where you can play it, you can take it on your 3DS, play it, and then come home, connects to your Wii U, and continue playing on your Wii U.
Can they even pull that off, though? Because, I mean, what was the newest... Tipping Stars, Mario versus Donkey Tipping Stars. Like, they had that. You buy one, you get one on the other system. But they didn't even... Like, the data wasn't even transferable. It's not like you could play 2 levels on that and pick up your progress. They each had their own unique, like, save system.
Yeah. I figured, like, what you're talking about, James, is probably going to be something for, like, when the NX comes out. Because that'll... Or not even... Or if not the NX, then when, DNA comes out with... Or DNA finishes up that project with Nintendo to create that replacement for Club Nintendo.
Wait, you gotta remember that there was some, I don't call it lost processing power. Nintendo had plans for 2 gamepads. And so there's extra transferring rate processor power that they haven't used. They had plans for. So theoretically you could have a game that transfers a bunch of data quickly back to the Wii U.
I think the closest we have is Smash Brothers. Because that transfers... So what does it transfer? Like your Amiibo stuff? They can go back and forth? Not 100% on that.
So if they had plans for the Wii U to handle 2 gamepads...
I think that's scrapped.
Well, no, it is scrapped, but it was theoretically probably possible. They just never fine-tuned it, and so they still have that.
It would be interesting. I just don't know.
Or it may not be a one-on-one game. It could be like a Pokemon battle type of thing, too.
You're really hoping for that Pokemon Wii console experience, huh?
I am.
Pokemon Snap?
Yeah, that'll be the 20th anniversary announcement. Pokemon Snap 2. Now
I
it's support.
Oh, I just want to throw it out there. I don't know how likely it is at this point since there's only been one weeker, but I would love to see some like Cube Classics done in HD. Like when I mentioned F-Zero, even though a new game might not be likely, why not take the Cube F-Zero and slap an HD coat of paint on that? Since it doesn't look like they're going to do anything with Cube Virtual Console,
Trevor,
you know,
are you reading the comments that we have on Twitter?
do we have? No, on this tablet, I can't see anything.
It's like every time I'm gonna go and look at the list of our fan poll, you name something somebody is, or I was about to say it, you've already named.
It's uncanny because all I can see is my giant head on this small tablet. I feel like I'm looking at a cell phone.
Maybe it's some psychic thing, I don't know. Because I was about to say that at Nashon123 wanted to see remastered GameCube Nintendo games. And Animal Crossing U, which are both things you just recently brought up. And I think another thing you would like is that Plug313 would also like to see some SNES and Game Boy Advance games on the 3DS Virtual Console.
It seems like the 3DS really needs some kind of big announcement. Like I know
There was
like the Hyrule Warriors kind of slipped out, but I think they could use something to get us excited. It seems like Wii U has more.
There's Bravely Second and something. That was
true.
also announced on that Nintendo Micro. Yeah, Bravely Second and Lair. That was announced for the 3DS.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. That was like an overachiever, exceeding kind of expectations. So.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I can't think of like really big stuff that will also be coming to the 3DS.
Yeah.
Those
are those surprise announcements that we're all, hoping for. Because how many surprise announcements will there be? I hope the 3DS and the Wii U. I hope they both get some good ones.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how many surprise announcements you think is going to happen, but it seems like it's such a stupid question to ask. How many times do you think you're going to be surprised for something you can't see coming?
7.
7 times?
I don't know. Talking about that last user about SNES and Game Boy Advance, I would like to see a remix package like they did with NES Remix for SNES Remix, I think, especially too with the World Championships and people practicing on NES Remix. Why not have the next step and do SNES Remix or Game Boy Remix or whatever.
Good.
There's so many classics, and that's a winning formula. Not just in the way it's designed, but how many people go and buy the full games.
Did the first 2 remixes sell pretty well?
They would have to. I mean, they did a physical package. I would think they had to have done well enough to justify that.
I don't know. I think you guys should vamp some while I try to get the numbers, see if I can get some numbers for you.
I mean, where's the Pushmo, Stretchmo, I forget the other one. Where's that package? Yeah, I'm just talking off my gut, but I would think they had to have been successful to get a spot on the shelf. Like DuckTales Remastered did, or different games like that have started digitally and then evolved into a physical.
And yeah. God, my computer for some reason does not like me multitasking today.
May I suggest a tablet?
That tablet would be a good idea. I'll have to use it.
This stupid tablet.
James, you got any ideas of surprise announcements?
My gut tells me that Zelda's going to be somewhere.
Like just another announcement, like here's this gameplay or something.
Yeah, because if you really want to get technical, the digital event, whatever they're calling it now, in the morning technically isn't E3. E3 doesn't start until 12 o'clock Pacific time.
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't be lying if they had it slipped into there somewhere.
That's a good point, because Nintendo's always sneaky with their wording. Like last year, Claymation Reggie was like, "Oh, there's no Mario games, but Mario Maker." You know, it's not technically a Mario game, but you know, they always look for.
And something may have got lost in the translation from Iwata. He could have said it wasn't at the show floor, or not going to be at E3, at the physical E3. Doesn't mean you can't show anything about it.
I think you're right.
I think that's all going to come down to, if there is a Metroid, there's no reason to show Zelda. If there isn't a Metroid, they need to show Zelda.
Yeah. Well, of course, if Guitar Hero and Rock Band are back, why not Wii Music 2, Matt?
I hope not.
Wii Music U.
Okay, I'm down for it. Let's see them refine that formula. I have no regrets about what I said in that episode of the podcast.
No, I know.
I am not ashamed. Still can't find those remix numbers, though.
Oh, I think they did well. And of course, 3DS got NES Remix too. I mean, why would they keep? They have to have sold well.
I mean, they could have sold
1.75 million. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I was gonna say, wow, that's really impressive.
I have no idea. I don't have a means to look it up with this without losing you, I don't think. But
yeah, but like, I mean, when NES Remix came out, it was like it got good reviews, it got some mixed reviews, and then it just kind of like sank under the radar again. We didn't hear anything.
You reviewed the first one, didn't you, Matt?
Yeah, I did review the first one, and I thought it was pretty good, and I thought it had room for like DLC updates. Little did I know they were coming out with a whole sequel, but
yeah.
I figured they would continue on the idea. I don't know if they'll continue on with the SNES or not. They might. I don't know.
I think it would be really good, because I mean, I think the SNES games, just by virtue of coming out later, I think a lot of them have aged better than, say, Ice Climbers or Balloon Fight, or, you know, not that they're not classics in their own right, but you know, an SNES remix with bite-sized challenges from Super Metroid or the original F-Zero. It's a way to give us those franchises we want without actually coming out with a new game.
That's very true. Nope, still no sales numbers, so...
They're good. Take my word.
Alright, I guess we'll take your word for it.
Unless we find otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know. I know we'll find this podcast. I'll continue looking, and maybe I'll put something on the site or put it in
a talk box like you did for the.
All right, I guess I'll do that. So I guess with that, we should start wrapping it up. Do you guys have anything you wanted to add to this?
Nope.
I think it's gonna be an exciting next few days. I mean, we're already seeing some excitement with pre-E3 jitters or what have you, but yeah, I'm looking forward to being here and hopefully punching news up as quickly as, you know, James and the crew reported in, or we catch wind of it. But yeah, I think it's just an exciting time, you know, and not just for Nintendo fans, obviously, for, you know, Sony and Microsoft too, but yeah, good time to be a gamer.
Yeah.
And make sure to follow us on @PureNintendo, because that's probably where we'll be giving our information, because it's the easiest way for us.
I totally agree. And speaking of pre-E3 jitters, like, I don't know. I look at James, and he's the other one going on this current, like, out of this current group right here. Justin and Peter Lopez will also be going. But you're talking about pre-E3 jitters. I think if James has pre-E3 jitters, we would never be able to tell. 'Cause look at him right there. He's just like, he looks like he is constantly like, metaphorically like, in that convertible where he's got his one arm back here, he's got the other hand like this, and he's just driving with one hand on the wheel. Like just how I picture James, dude. Just going to
That's
E3.
how I handle my whole. That's how I handle my whole life, not just E3.
Yeah, he's just cruising through it.
Well, of course, James, you're an E3 vet. I mean, you've been going for how long now? So
This would be like 6th or 7th time. So yeah.
yeah, it's old hat for you. Let's see how Pete does. Is this Pete's first? I don't even know.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so.
All right, and with that, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So I want to thank everyone for listening to our 69th episode of our Koopa Kast. James, Trevor, thank you for joining me on this episode of the Koopa Kast.
You bet.
And for anybody listening out there, if you would like to check out more episodes of the Koopa Kast, you can go to purenintendo.com and click on the Koopa Kast link. You could also go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/purenintendo. You can also, if you'd like to talk to us, we love getting new Twitter followers. Our Twitter handles are below each of our lower thirds. They're also on our on purenintendo.com. You can talk to us there. If you would like to leave a comment specific to our Koopa Kast episodes, whether they are current or upcoming, you can always shoot us email at podcast@purenintendo.com, or you could always leave a comment in any of our Koopa Kast stories. We'll have another one coming 2 Mondays from now. Actually, no, not 2 Mondays from now, because we will have a series of Koopa Kast E3 specials going on for, I believe, every day that E3 is happening and every day that
Sure.
our away team is away.
Sure.
I mean, I was told so. Yes, I don't know.
At least 2 they win.
You got to do it now. Everybody's heard it, so you have no choice.
Oh, I don't have to do it now. I'm not part of the away team.
Oh no, James. I mean.
Oh yeah, James will have to do it. Well, James is the former host of the Koopa Kast. He knows what to do.
Yeah.
I have faith that he can take the wheel.
I will commit to Tuesday and Wednesday. I
All
don't
right.
know about Thursday. We'll see.
In fact, we'll have a special Koopa Kast where James will be hosting the cast while he's on the plane to and from LA.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be better than the hotel lobby or wherever you guys were.
Yeah,
last year.
the hotel lobby. While people kept running in and out. Yeah, I'm really surprised they didn't kick us out for that. Not that kick us out of the hotel, but kick us out of the lobby. But anyway, I digress. We are closing out this Koopa Kast. So we will see you all next week for our E3 coverage and our E3 Koopa Kast episodes. So until then, see you all later.
Bye, everyone.